I'm back. Did you miss me? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Taking a while to get used to talking to a camera again because obviously I've been gone for a while, but there's a lot of other things happening in my life at the moment. Quite a few people have been asking me when I'm going to drop my next video. But like I said, I'm in the third year of my degree, also the president of a massive society at my university. So there's a lot of other things keeping me busy. There's a lot that keeps me busy. The sheer amount of positive comments and support that I've received from the first few videos that I put up on YouTube is definitely just made me feel like this is definitely something I want to carry on doing because you guys are enjoying the content and I just want to continue making more and more good content for you about interesting topics that you find, well, interesting. And it's once you put a camera in front of my face, I forget all my vocabulary. Hey guys, sorry if I'm squinting in this video. It's because I left my glasses at my friend's house and I'm squinting to keep my eyes in focus. Today I'm going to be talking to you about a very, very important topic. Talking about the problem with masculinity. Our society is currently going through a shift where I feel like we are growing more and more accepting of male emotion, but at its current state, male suicide is still a lot higher than we'd expect it to be or ever want it to be. In a society with lots of pertinent issues about gender equality and a lot of problems that face the females in our society, we sometimes feel like we shouldn't really be talking about male issues when there's a lot of male privilege still out there. But I feel like it's an important topic because what a lot of it could boil down to is the fact that there's so much pressure on maintaining what we feel makes you a man in our society or what is masculine in our society. As males, we feel like expressing our emotions or expressing our feelings is something that will make us weak amongst our fellow males or in front of people of the opposite gender. Discussing your emotions with your fellow males or even with people of the opposite gender is still seen as something that will take away your masculinity, not manly, and something not to do. It's as though bottling up your feelings, acting like everything is fine, putting on a brave face is the more manly thing to do, but that really cultivates a dangerous, toxic environment in your head and is not something that we should do. I feel like there are pressures on men that we don't really discuss a lot. There's pressures on men to be men. Archaic principles of what makes you a man. To be strong, to be tall, to be successful, to be able to switch off your emotions, to be able to fight. But I feel like a lot of these social pressures at the end of the day are not necessarily what makes you a man in the sense that you're a human being and everyone is different. But I feel like a lot of people feel like they need to overcompensate or pretend or in front of their male friends put on this sort of persona that aligns with what society is defined as what is a man. For example, if you're not necessarily into football, being around a group of men talking about football, discussing in-depth details about players, about matches that have happened recently, if you're not into football, it's very easy to feel emasculated in that scenario, but you really shouldn't because football at the end of the day is just a sport. There's lots of other sports, but society has defined football, anyway in the UK, has defined football as a manly sport to discuss. Like, for example, I play rugby. I used to be very interested in watching football. Over time, I don't have as much interest in it anymore, but I play rugby, which arguably is a very, let me not offend anybody, but I feel like going by what society has defined as what manly is, I feel like rugby is a more manly sport than football. But me still around people discussing football because I'm not interested in it, I don't know all the players by name, date of birth and height, I can't be a part of this ritual that is being a man today. With emotions, there's still a taboo about discussing your emotions with your fellow men because this whole thing of manning up and it's not that deep or just allow it, just leave it is still a very real thing. And I feel like this is dangerous because the more times you're told to allow it, the more times you're told to leave it, the more you're bottling up within yourself and the more toxic the environment in your head is becoming. Because I've grown up with having two sisters, I find it a lot easier to discuss deep things with females. Even that, there's a taboo against that because in our society, discussing how you feel with females is still seen as a means of trying to attract females towards you by being able to communicate with them on an emotional level rather than just the fact that you have your own emotions and it's important for you to discuss them. A lot of people feel the need to overcompensate a lot of the time. They purposely push aside their feelings. They will, like I said, force on a persona that's not them in order to not appear weak. As though everyone's fighting to be the alpha male, when at the end of the day we're in the 21st century. We're no longer cavemen, where you have to show you're the strongest, and in order to show you're the strongest you have to show that you have the least emotions. You can be a savage, drink beer, talk to girls and eat meat. No amount of protein, no amount of gym is gonna fix what's going on in your head. If you feel emasculated by little things that don't matter, no amount of getting hench or being a savage or hurting people's feelings is going to make you a man. What makes you a man? The fact that you identify as a man. There's nothing else in the society that's going to define that. Nothing else should define that. Nothing else can define that. You are a man because you identify as one. Being masculine is about a lot more than what you discuss. I feel like as a society we've let masculinity boil down to discussions and how you're perceived by your fellow men. How you're perceived around your fellow men seems to be the most important thing to a lot of people, and you're in constant competition with even those you consider as your friends. So is this a healthy environment where we're constantly competing to be the most savage or to be the most manly? At the end of the day, I can't necessarily talk because, like anyone else, there's been a lot of times where I feel like I have to do certain things in order to feel masculine or to be manly. Like I said, I grew up in quite a feminine environment because I had 2 older sisters and no brothers really. I had male cousins, but they were all a lot older than me. So other than my dad, I didn't really have males to sort of look up to who were at my level where I could playing Xbox, playing PlayStation, playing FIFA. Like I mentioned in my previous video, I can't do that. And a lot of the secrets that you girls think you have, they're not secrets to me. Closure. If you're wearing closure, I know middle part closure, I know the side part, the middle part. I know the closure that they can part in all the sides. I know all the secrets just because that's the way it is, but I feel like that's a good thing. I feel like it's made me more rounded as a person because I'm a male with male friends and I'm able to communicate with them and connect with them on other levels. But I feel like the fact that I've been brought up with strong females in my life, I feel like the fact that I know a lot about both being a guy and being a girl, I feel like it's made me more of a rounded individual. There's no like mystery to it. I understand both sort of sides of the fence, and it's sort of weird in the sense that we have the proverbial I find it easier to talk to guys trope. Seen the meme with the hot dogs? Let me not talk about that. The girl is often shunned and made to feel as though she only gets on with those guys because she wants to be with those guys or attract those guys towards her. The same way guys who get on with girls or are able to communicate with girls on a different level seem to be, let me use London terminology they've taught me, gallists, or guys who are trying to attract as many girls to them as possible by being able to connect with them on an emotional level. But all of us should be happy and fine with talking about our emotions. We're human beings. I don't know why we are made to feel like we have to be robots. As guys, we're meant to be robots who think about sport, girls, alcohol, and what else? Politics. You're allowed to be able to do other things. Like me, I can cook, I bake, I do performing arts, like I dance and I do drama. A lot of these things aren't considered to be masculine things in our society, which is weird because the heartthrobs that all these girls that you're trying to move are moving to, the Bradley Coopers of this world, they were the drama kids that you man were making fun of. They're the drama kids that when you man were playing on the field, they were doing drama. So if you think drama kids are not masculine, go ask your babes. Your babes has a poster of Michael Ealy on her wall. He's a drama kid. When they're making money and your babes is trying to find them, you'll know who to make fun of again. Like at school, sometimes drama clashed with rugby. Never would I say I was missing a rugby training session because I had drama, because of the way I knew it would be received. And in the 21st century, it shouldn't be being received that way, but it's the way that it is. The reason why I feel like it's such a major problem is that creating a toxic environment in your head where you're constantly feeling like you need to put on a facade in order to be perceived as the actual gender that you are. You can be your own worst enemy. And if you're constantly feeling inadequate or constantly feeling like you're not good enough, after a while, the way you interact with people will be affected. The way you feel generally will be affected. Your whole entire mood will be affected. And after a while, this can lead to some serious mental health issues. There's many people who go through life feeling inadequate for no reason. And it leads them to a dark place. A place where anything can happen. a place that can often lead to suicide. Self-hatred. Self-hatred is often born out of you feeling inadequate. Self-hatred is a very dangerous thing. We say hate is a very strong word, but it's very, very much easier than you think to hate yourself. Hating yourself because you don't feel like you are the man you're supposed to be. Hating yourself because you're not tall. Hating yourself because you're not hench. Hating yourself because your beard doesn't connect. All these things that we feel like are important, or the major things that make you a man, is ludicrous, essentially. As a society, it's important that we look past stupid things and stop placing at the forefront these stupid things that the cavemen decided are the things that make you a man. And also just demystifying and removing the taboo around men discussing their emotions or discussing how they feel. If you feel inadequate, or you feel like there's something about you that you want to discuss, a girl has hurt you, somebody has hurt you, you're struggling with life. It's a very dangerous thing when you're struggling and you struggle in silence, because you feel like if you admit to struggling, you're admitting defeat, or you're admitting inadequacy. Everybody struggles. Struggling does not make you inadequate in any way, shape or form. But when you struggle and you don't tell anyone and you just let it keep taking you down, it can really, really affect you in life. And as a man, it's your responsibility to be there, to live, to survive. Your responsibility in this world is to exist and to make something of yourself. If you live your life feeling inadequate, feeling like you need to meet up with all these gender stereotypes, you're not going to be there in order to make something of yourself. In order to make something of yourself, you need to be strong. And it's a lot easier said than done. Strength does not come from gym. You may think strength comes from gym, strength comes from protein. Strength does not come from that. Strength comes from within. It sounds very cliche, but strength does come from within. Believing that who you are defines the person you have to be. No one else in the society should define who you need to be or who you feel like you need to be. The pressure of being successful in life, because nobody wants a broke guy. You're here in your life, you're doing your A-levels or you're doing your first year of university and you're already thinking about being broke in future. Let me not act like I'm some all-seeing and some magical guy who never worried about these things, because I also worried about if I'm not successful, I won't be able to get a job, I won't get a job, I'll be broke, no girl will ever want to be with me, and all these silly, silly things. And when you put that sort of pressure on yourself, it can affect what you attain, because you're thinking about too much rather than just focusing on the now. It's important that we remember to focus on the now. Focus on the now and the future will take care of itself. That's something my dad always taught me, and it's something that it's taken me a while to learn to believe, but definitely now I'm able to believe it. Don't let anybody ever convince you, or your peers convince you, that you need to change or put on a persona in order to be accepted. A lot of my Let's Talk videos are going to be about acceptance, because feeling accepted within your community, feeling accepted within society is a very important thing. That was my views on the problems with masculinity. This is another part of my Let's Talk series. I call them Let's Talk videos because it's an opportunity for me to share my views on important issues that I feel like need to be discussed. It's an opportunity for me to look back, because a lot of the issues I discuss are problems that I faced when I was growing up, or things that I didn't understand when I was growing up. And I feel like it's important for me to be able to, now that I'm out of that, be able to give my advice and show people what I had to understand in order to be able to move on, because I would not have been able to be the person I am today if not for people. People who discussed with me, people who talked to me, and as much as I talk about how dangerous and scary and horrible people can be, I would not have been the person I am today without great people giving me great advice. So I feel like it's important for me to be able to give advice wherever I can. The Igbo people of southeastern Nigeria, where my parents and I hail from, say something along these lines, which is Onyewe madu welife, which means he who has people has something. Onyewe madu welife dimma means he who has people has great things. Madu kego, people are greater than wealth. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Probably another long one, but I feel like when I discuss these topics, it's important that I get out what I want to get out. A lot of the time I call these my incoherent ramblings, because a lot of the time I don't get out everything I want to say, because once I start talking, I sometimes go off on tangents. But I hope you guys took something from this video. I hope somebody sees this video and is helped by it. I promise this time I'll be back with some more videos, some new videos, some funny ones, some more talky ones like this, some more vlogs. I'm going to keep this channel alive because this channel is something that has been able to help me boost my confidence a lot. Like, I was going through a period of time where my self-confidence was very low, but being able to talk to this camera, having people I don't know interact with me to discuss about my views, to discuss about how they like what I'm doing, is something that's made me feel very good. I definitely want to continue doing this because it's one of the most out there things that I've done for a while, and I definitely don't want to stop doing it for anything. So even though I've been busy, I'm going to try and find as much time as I can in my schedule to make videos regularly as possible, and I hope you guys stay subscribed. Stay subscribed to CheekyChikeTV because it is what? The place to be. Thank you for watching. See you next time.